What a great crowd. You are far better dressed than people at Greenpeace. I'll tell you that much. Hey, I want to start by thanking you because we're here today right before the President's State of the Union address. And we're all hoping that the President will be as great as his hope or his hype or what people voted for or fought for. We're all hoping for that. And I just want to tell you that no matter how great he is, great presidents have not made this country great. Great presidents have never made this country great. It's always been great movements. It's always been people like you and people like you and people like us. Great movements have made presidents great, which has made our country even greater. Whether it was the environmental movement that a Republican really put into law, Richard Nixon of all people, the warmonger, put the Clean Air Act, put all the laws we take for granted now into place. Whenever our country has become greater, it's because you all are great. And it's a real honor to be with you here today because today it's our job to make President Obama step up even more and be even greater. So thank you.
Thank you, too.
Now you can't mention great movement tied to the environmental movement without mentioning Bill McKibben and 350.org. And I'm really honored to be here with Bill, with 350, and with all of you in what's really turning into a much more powerful environmental movement. Today we're here to do a couple things. Number one, we're here to call out Congress because they have failed in their inaction, in their dirty money, in their inability to do anything. They have failed to referee between the 99% of Americans who are demanding clean energy, who are demanding clean jobs, who are demanding clean air, and who are demanding our country back. They have failed to referee between the 99% and the 1%. Those oil companies that have made over $1 trillion in profit, just 5 companies, $1 trillion in profit in the last 5 years. This Congress listens to them and not to the Americans who are saying, this will kill our groundwater. They're not listening to the Americans who are saying, this is poisoning our air. They're not listening to the indigenous people saying, this is destroying centuries of heritage. They're listening to their friends in the oil industry who have bought them, who have given every member of Congress, on average, who voted with them on the Keystone Pipeline, 500% more money, campaign cash, than the folks who stood up with us, who stood up with you, and said hell no to the Keystone Pipeline. You know, it's no secret that companies lie. And I think one of the biggest liars out there is the American Petroleum Institute. The American Petroleum Institute, API, is telling us that this Keystone Pipeline will create jobs. They're even hiring oil industry companies to say it will create jobs and then telling their stockholders that it will create jobs and create all this good so that their stock price can go up. At the same time, the only independent study, the only one that looked at whether or not this will create more jobs, showed that it won't. It'll actually increase gas prices in the Midwest and it'll hurt jobs. You know, the only jobs at stake here are the Congress members who are clinging for dear life in the race for campaign cash to try to keep themselves in office and selling out people like us, selling out the voters, and selling out the 99%. So today I'm asking you to join me in calling for several things. I think the first thing is we need to join together and call for President Obama not to just veto one pipeline, but to veto all pipelines. All pipelines from the tar sands, no pipelines. Number 2 is stop lying and saying that you can have a clean environment or jobs. That money from subsidies should be taken from the oil industry and reinvested in America in clean energy and jobs that make us stronger instead of more addicted to fossil fuels. President Obama needs to step up today and call for a constitutional amendment saying that corporations aren't people, they shouldn't run our country, that people should run our country, and that we need our democracy back. And finally, I'll ask you one last thing. Presidents have not made this country great. Even the greatest, even John F. Kennedy, he didn't make the civil rights movement happen. The civil rights movement made him enact laws to protect us and make us a better country. So what I'd ask you to do is do what McKibben asks. Wear this shirt, go back home, wherever an elected official is taking oil money, follow them and blow the whistle. great movements like us, great movements like you, are the only thing that's ever made this country great. So I want to hear from you that you're willing to keep going, keep this movement going, recruit your friends, and make sure that there's no Keystone Pipeline.